Hi, I'm Boink. The day I wandered out of the monster world through the closet door, I began to explore a wonderful new world. Your world, the world of humans. Here I can learn all kinds of new things, meet new friends, share silly jokes, and follow my dream of having my own show.
Welcome to the Boink Show!
Hi everybody, it's great to be with you. Hi Kaitlyn. Hi Avery.
Hi.
Hi. We have a wonderful guest here, but I'm going to let Kaitlyn introduce her. Kaitlyn, do you want to introduce our guest?
Yes. Today's guest is Astronaut Abby.
Astronaut Abby. Oh, Abby Harrison. And you're called Astronaut Abby because...
Because I want to be an astronaut in the future.
Oh, that's awesome. Astronauts. That's such a cool career. How did you come upon that dream? You just kind of wake up one morning and want to be an astronaut? Or see something or what?
Pretty much ever since I was probably actually about Avery's age. How old are you, Avery? 6? Yeah, so about 5 or 6 years old, I wanted to be an astronaut. I loved going outside and looking up at the stars and just imagining what was out there. What could we still explore and discover and find? And so I knew that I wanted to be the one to go out and do that.
Oh, that's so fascinating. But, you don't want to just be any old astronaut. I heard you want to be the first of something.
Yes. So I want to be the first astronaut to walk on Mars.
First astronaut. Wow, that would be so cool. And you've started a nonprofit too called the Mars Generation. Tell us a little bit about the Mars Generation.
Yeah, so the Mars Generation is a nonprofit that is really hoping to inspire and excite everyone, but especially young people, about careers and futures in STEM, which I think we'll talk about what STEM means in a little bit.
Yes.
And then also give them the resources to go ahead and pursue those careers. And so really support people in achieving big dreams.
That's awesome. Kaitlyn and Avery, you guys want to ask some questions? You probably have a million questions for her. It's so interesting.
Where do you practice?
Where do I practice? That's a great question. So there are a lot of things that you have to practice pretty much to become an astronaut. And the most important one is school, is education.
Yeah.
And so right now I'm a student at Wellesley College, which is out near Boston. And I'm doing a double degree in astrobiology and Russian. And after that, I get to go to school again to do a doctorate. And so that's the most important thing that I'm practicing right now to become an astronaut.
Cool. And did you go to like space camp and do all kinds of spacey types of training? Have you ever done any of that?
Yeah, so when I was younger, I did go to space camp, and it was a blast.
Blast, I love that. We love puns on this show.
Oh, good.
And what kind of things did you do? Did you go up in the in a plane and do the anti-gravity stuff that we've seen, or were you like underwater in a pool?
Yeah,
so
so
cool stuff.
We did underwater training, which is called neutral buoyancy training, which is basically that water is the best way that we can simulate microgravity on Earth. And microgravity is that feeling of almost floating that you see where astronauts are floating in space. That's because they're not being pulled down by the gravity of Earth, basically. And so you can simulate that by the feeling of floating in water. And so they do that a lot to teach astronauts how to live and work in outer space.
Isn't that cool, Kaitlyn? Other questions? Avery, do you have a question?
I forgot mine.
Okay, spend some time thinking about it. Maybe we'll come back. How about you, Kaitlyn? Any other questions? No? Well, I could think of lots of questions. So, like going to Mars, that's quite an undertaking, to say the least. Can you tell us, like, realistically, what are some really tough challenges of getting to Mars?
Oh my gosh, everything about getting to Mars is difficult, and that's why it's so important that we do it, because it is so difficult that it's going to teach us a lot of things as we overcome each of these challenges. A handful of them include actually getting there. It's a lot of propulsion to get from here to Mars. Probably about 6 to 8 months with current technology. So not too long, I guess, but in the scheme of things.
I thought a 5-hour car ride was a long time. Didn't you, Kaitlyn?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's all perspective. Other than that, it's...
You're going to bring your iPad, right, so you can watch movies?
I'm going to bring my iPad so that I can watch the Boink Show.
All right. If we had the Boink Show on Mars, that would just be the best.
Well, yeah. Don't you want to come to Mars with me, Boink?
Oh, I would love to.
All right.
If there's room for me.
I'm set. I've got my crew right here, right?
I just don't know if
Kaitlyn, Avery, Boink.
Yeah.
That's a good.
That's a good crew.
Good
It is a
setup.
good crew,
I'd spend 6 to 8 months with you guys.
You know, Abby, I have to give you a lot of credit though, because I think, unlike you, I probably couldn't handle all that intense training. What if I got sick when I was floating around?
That's a great question. So astronauts do get sick a lot. Most astronauts who go to space end up getting something called space adaptation syndrome, which if you're watching and you're interested in that, after January 16th, there will be an episode about space adaptation syndrome on the Mars Generation Space and Science Show's YouTube channel. So go ahead and check that out. But it usually goes away pretty quickly. It's like an adjustment period. The first couple days that you're in space, you feel a little bit queasy and just not so well. And then you get used to it and your body adjusts to what's normal and you're pretty much fine, hopefully.
Yeah. What are some other challenges of getting to Mars? So it takes a long time. What about living there?
Oh, living there is very challenging. So there's all kinds of things that we need to think about, like radiation protection, oxygen, water, food, all of those things that Earth naturally provides for us. We have to provide for ourselves once we go out into outer space and once we even spend time on Mars. And so I don't know about you guys, but I think that spending 6 months without water or food would probably not work out so well, right?
I wouldn't make it.
Yeah, neither would I. And so we have to make sure that we send enough of those along with our astronauts and that we have technologies that we can recycle and create new materials and whatnot. And then also, like I said, protect them from radiation, protect them from microgravity, because that plays a lot of funny tricks on the body where, things like astronauts' vision starts to deteriorate the longer they spend in space because...
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, because in microgravity, things that are liquid form into spheres. And so this wouldn't be a problem for you, Boink, because it looks like your eyeballs are already pretty spherical.
Yep.
But for us humans, our eyeballs aren't actually spheres. They're not just balls in our heads. They're shaped in a particular way because of the way that gravity and our bone structure presses into them. And when you go into space, you don't have that gravity anymore. And so your eyeballs kind of shift into just spherical balls, but your bone structure isn't made to have spheres in it. It's made to have eyeball-shaped objects in it. And so it starts to press weirdly on your eyeballs and on the nerves, and the longer you spend like that, the more dangerous it can become. So we have to figure out how to solve that. We have to figure out how to solve muscle degradation and bone deterioration and all kinds of other things that microgravity poses.
You're just like blowing my mind right now. This is incredible. You're really smart. I can see why you're going to be an astronaut. What do you think, Kaitlyn? Isn't she pretty smart?
Yes.
Yes. What, Avery, did you think of your question? No? Okay.
Not quite.
There is a really cool fact that I read somewhere once. I don't remember where, but it was about Jupiter. It's that it rains diamonds.
Rains diamonds?
So I think the idea with that one is that Jupiter has such a large mass that it creates this humongous pressure inside, and so it would cause carbon to form into its more compressed form, which is diamond. I'm not quite sure if that's Jupiter that happens on, but there is a planet out there that's farther out, not quite in our solar system, where that's supposed to happen. But Jupiter does also have that huge mass. Jupiter makes up, other than the sun, Jupiter is the most massive object within our solar system.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about our word of the day, because you already mentioned it. But first we have to introduce our word of the day. Are you guys ready to say word of the day with me? 1, 2, 3. Word of the day! Yes, we love to learn on this show, and one of those things we learn is a new word every day. This one's actually an acronym. Do you know what an acronym is, Kaitlyn?
No.
You know what an acronym is?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
Acronyms are actually super important in the space industry.
Yeah.
We turn everything into acronyms. And so I was pretty excited to hear that the word of the day was an acronym.
Yes, it's
fits.
STEM. Caitlin, do you know what STEM means? I think you do. You've heard it before.
It was science, technology, engineering, and math.
Yeah, science, technology, engineering, and math. And there's STEM schools, STEM education. We've heard of different things. But really, what is STEM? And what's the importance of it?
STEM, like Kaitlyn said, is science, technology, engineering, and math. And it really signifies how all of those fields can work together to help create things in the future. Because science on its own is great, but it doesn't do a lot. Because a lot of times in science, you might need something engineered or created, or you might need to use math. And the same goes for each of the other fields. In engineering, a lot of times you need to use math, or you need something scientifically done, or you need a new piece of technology, and it goes for each of those, that they are all interwoven and interlocked and connected. And so when you think about any one of them alone, it just doesn't work. You have to think about all of them together.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so we like to talk about it as STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math.
That's great.
And some people even add in another letter. Have you guys heard the other letter that some people add in? So
what is it?
the final letter that some people add in and that I like to add in is A. So they call it STEAM. And the A stands for art.
Cool.
Because a lot of times, things that we do in science or technology or engineering or math are so interwoven once again with art and with being creative and with, making connections. And that's what art is all about.
Oh, really cool.
So.
Oh, man, this has been so fun to have you on the show and teach us a little bit about what it's like to go to Mars and what it'll take. And we look forward to reading the news about you being on Mars someday.
Thanks, Boink.
And say, we know you win.
I hope to make it to Mars and get to wave back to all of you and say howdy.
Well, along the way, you were setting a good role model for girls like Kaitlyn and Avery and others. And this nonprofit work that you're doing is just really admirable. So thank you for all you're doing.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming on the show. We have one last thing. I have a joke of the day. Actually, I didn't ask. Do you know any good jokes? Space jokes, maybe?
Let's see. Do I know any good jokes? I've got one.
Okay, hold on. Let's go with joke of the day. Ready, everybody? 1, 2, 3. Joke of the day! Okay, there we go.
Where do astronauts go to hang out?
Where do astronauts go? What do you think, girls? Oh, where do they go hang out?
The space bar.
The space bar! That's so good. That's so good. Well, thanks again for coming on the show. This was great. You guys want to say thank you to Astronaut Abby?
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for having me,
Everybody
guys.
wave and thank everybody for watching at home. Take care and check out the Mars Generation. Bye.
Bye.